Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's BF Nkrumah, Black Men's Personal Development Coach, and I'm here today to give another morning message. Today, I want to talk about breaking Groundhog Day. Now, at least if you're somewhere around my age, we all saw the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, where every day he woke up and it was the same exact day. He just kept living out the same day, trying to figure out why he's living out the same day and trying to figure out how to get off of this day. What I want to suggest is that many of us are living in Groundhog Day and we don't even know. At least Bill Murray knew. Now we watched the movie, it was funny, but he was frustrated. But at least he knew that he was living in Groundhog Day. Many of us have been in Groundhog Day for years and have not even recognized it. You work the same job or the same type of job. You got the same hobbies. You got the same interests. You got the same type of friends. You get up and you do the same thing. You aspire to have the same things over the years. You wait every year for income tax so you can go on a vacation, or you wait for that same income tax so you can get a car, or you wait for that same income tax so you can get some new furniture. You are living in Groundhog Day. Every day is the same. Nothing is leading you to a new life. For the past year, 2, 3, 5, maybe 10 years, you the same exact person. Don't even recognize you in Groundhog Day. Don't even recognize that you are in Groundhog Day. But today I want to talk about breaking it. I want to talk about breaking Groundhog Day. Now, first we got to identify. First we got to understand it, and we got to accept that, damn, I've been living the same life. I've been living the same life for a year. Sometimes we don't want to admit certain things because then we'll feel like failures. Don't worry about no failure. Only thing exists is the present. So what you did in the past don't matter. So today we're going to take this information and we're going to move forward. Let's understand something first. The human mind cannot grow without new information. If you don't input any new information in your mind, you're going to have the same brain. And if you have the same brain, you're going to have the same experiences. You're going to have the same intellect. You're going to have the same knowledge. And guess what? You're going to produce the same results to keep living the same life. How many people have you seen who are literally still doing what they was doing when they was 18 years old? They never got any new information to shift them or move them and take them somewhere else. But this is how deep it is. See, no matter what actually exists in the world, you can only see what's already in your mind. The world is only as big as the information in your mind to you. Now, the world is much bigger than that. The world is infinitely bigger than that, but you can't see what's not in your mind. Have you ever thought about being an actuary? It's a very, very high paying job that you probably never even knew exists. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know it exists. I went on Google to find jobs that I never heard of so I could throw something out there that I knew people never thought of. How can you become something that you don't know exists? How can you achieve something that you don't know exists? How can you have something that you don't know exists? If we're not constantly getting new information, we are constantly in Groundhog Day. If we never get new information, we are constantly in Groundhog Day. So I want to ask you, what does your life consist of daily? What do you do daily? What is your routine? You get up and do the same thing? You get up at a certain time, you get washed, get the kids ready, you go to work, complain about the job all day, eat the same bad food for lunch, come home, pick the kids up, or the kids come home on their own, make some food for the kids, watch a little TV, go to sleep. Do that Monday through Friday. Saturday, do some events with the kids. Sunday, rest or go to church or something. Monday, repeat the same thing. How was that not Groundhog Day? How was that not Groundhog Day? Every day, the same routine. Every day, the same exercise. How can you get to another place in life if every day you're doing the same exact thing? So what I want you to think about right now, where in your daily routine is there something that can lead you to a better life? Like what part of the day you think, all right, well, this part of the day, I'm learning something extra so I can see myself as something different. And when I see myself as something different, I'm going to do something different. What part of your day? Is there any part of your day that you can look at that's leading you somewhere else? That's leading you out of the mundane? That's leading you out of the monotony of what you've been doing? What part of your day? So let's start shifting. Let's start shifting. I'm only asking those questions so I can get you to recognize you in Groundhog Day. But let's start breaking Groundhog Day, right? So when is the last time you intentionally learned something new? Because your brain can't grow without new information. So when is the last time you intentionally learned something new? Now it's good to just come across new information just because it fell on your desk somewhere. It plopped in your life. It's good to get new information wherever you get it, but oftentimes when it just comes to you, you don't really care about it because you wasn't thinking about it. It came, you said, oh, that's different, and then you forgot about it, and then you went right back to Groundhog Day. But when's the last time you intentionally said, I want to learn something new? I want to get some new information. I want to study X, Y, and Z. Me personally, I want to ingest new information so much. I have been studying topics I've never thought about. I've been studying topics that I never even heard about. I started studying developmental psychopathology. I had never heard of developmental psychopathology. Never heard of it, but I was reading in the book and they were talking about developmental psychopathology. I said, what the heck is developmental psychopathology? Let me buy some books on developmental psychopathology, something I was not aware of before. Then I began to get all this new information on developmental psychopathology. And that began to elevate what I can teach. That began to elevate how I can actually help people. I began to elevate my business and elevate my life because I got some new information. I got something that's going to set me apart because there's a lot of people out here who are just motivational speakers and they telling you the good, but they're not going to show you anything developmental psychopathology related. But I'm going to get into all of that because I got some new information. When is the last time you intentionally learned something new? Come on. So, all right, now let's get into breaking it. Let's get into breaking Groundhog Day. Firstly, you have to be acutely aware that there is more to the world than the world you know. You got to get that in your mind, that life is bigger than what you know. You don't know everything. In fact, you don't know nothing. And I'm not saying that to disrespect you because I don't know nothing. I read 40 to 50 books a year. I still don't know nothing because that's how infinite this world and our existence is. It's just so much. In fact, the more you learn that you don't know because it's just so much out there. You have to accept that there's more to the world than the world you know. And then you have to have a desire to see, all right, what else is in the world? What else is possible for me? All right, I've been content in the life that I'm living, but are there some things out there that I might like if I tried? Or some things out there that I might like if only I knew it existed? Maybe I should be trying to find, because I might find the thing I was purposed to do. I've been saying this for a long time. A lot of people never step into their purpose, not because they can't, but because they don't know the thing that they're purposed to do exists. They never expose themselves to anything more than what they saw every day. And then they succumbed to what they saw every day and became what they saw every day and never learned that purposeful thing that they were supposed to be doing. So you have to be acutely aware. Like, listen, it's more out there. Every day, it's more out there. Think about explorers from back in the day. They had no GPS. They had no internet. They didn't know what was on the other side, but they said, it's more to this world. I'm getting on this boat and I'm going across this ocean. You ever been on the ocean at night? It's dark and scary. We're gonna get on this ocean. We're gonna ride this wave. We're gonna ride through these storms because I believe there's more to the world than the world that I'm living in. And so I'm gonna take some chances. I'm gonna go through some struggles, but I'm gonna take the chance to find what's more than the world that I know, because if I find something that's truly for me, it's better than just staying right here where I am in contentment or in complaining. But no, I'm going to go across the world to find what's for me. I'm acutely aware that there's more to the world. But then not only that, you have to be acutely aware that there's more to you than the you know. I know that sounds a little crazy. You have to be acutely aware that there's more to you than the you know. There is so much potential inside of you. You have the capacity to do so much more than you are already doing. Our brains are computers that can ingest anything and create any reality that we decide that we want to have. All you have to do is understand that I am not who I am today presently. I am not who I was yesterday. In fact, I have some skills. You ever start to do something and do it well when you never did it before? Like you just try it and damn, I didn't even know I was good at that. I didn't know I knew how to do that. You got some skills inside of you that you just have to tap into. You have some intellect inside of you that you just have to tap into. You have some potential inside of you that you just have to tap into. You just got to stop thinking you are who you've been. You got to stop thinking you are who your family is. You got to stop thinking you are who your community is. You got to begin to see yourself different and allow yourself to evolve. Yeah, there's more to the world, but guess what? Excuse me. It's more than me. It's more than me. If you would have met me at 20, there's nowhere in the world you would have thought I would be who I am today. There's no way in the world you would have looked at me at 20, a gangster, in jail, out of jail, involved in all kinds of negativity. And see, the Bible says that the gifts and calling of God are without repentance. So I always had the gift to orate. I always had the gift to speak and compel people. And so I would be on the corner using my gift negatively. So not only was I just a bad individual, but I had a gift to compel people to do more negativity. I was the worst kind of person. Because it wasn't just me. I'm going to get everybody to do all this negativity. You would have never looked at that ignorant individual, soulless individual with no conscience. You would have never looked at that individual and said, he's going to be who I am today. It was more inside of me. I just had to be open to say, I succumbed to my environment in this moment, but that does not mean that's who I will always be, because there's more in me if I just tap into me. Come on. Woo. I'm getting hot up in this joint. Getting hot up in here. So there's more to you than you always be. So we're going to do three things. 3 things to break Groundhog Day. 1, commit to learning something new every day. I don't care what it is. Learn something new every single day. Whether it's something new about yourself, whether it's something new about the world, whether it's a new subject, learn something new every day. Once your brain starts to get new information, your neurons begin to fire and your brain literally begins to change. And once your brain begins to change, your brain begins to see. And this is when you get into neurobiology. This thing it gets a little crazy. There's a difference between your consciousness and what's in your brain. I don't want to get too deep, but there's a difference between your consciousness and what's in your brain. There's information that's in your brain that your consciousness isn't aware of. But the more you start to get new information, and now your consciousness is signaling your brain that you're open to new information. Now your brain begins to show your consciousness all of these things that you had inside of you that you didn't recognize before. Because just because it's stored in your brain doesn't mean your consciousness knows everything that's in your brain. It's easy how you forget something. Yeah, you forget somebody's name. That information is in your brain, but your consciousness at the moment can't grab it. Once you get the more information, the more you are committed to learning, the more you are committed to finding more to the world and more to yourself, your brain begins to release. Those neurons begin to fire. They begin to create new networks, and they begin to put you on the pathway to live an exact life that you was created to. But you have to commit to learning something new every day. The second thing, say yes to something you normally say no to. Every week, something that you normally say, nah, I don't do that, say yes to it. Another thing when I'm talking about your neurons, the cells in your brain, when you have new information, right, they fire, then they fire together. You think about it more, you learn more. The cells, they connect and create neural pathways. So these neural pathways, then the deeper you get into it, they create grooves to where they can become habits or things you habitually think about, or things that you just have like the unction to do. Like you done ate McDonald's so much, every time you're driving on the highway, you get the desire to eat McDonald's. That's because you have a deep neural pathway in your mind that says, let's make that turn and get off on the exit and make McDonald's. But those are neural pathways that you didn't intentionally make. What we're talking about here, now we're intentionally making these new pathways. So now I'm saying yes to things I didn't normally say yes to. Now I'm creating new neural pathways, and it begins to unlock different things in my mind. So now I start creating these new neural pathways from saying yes to things that I normally said no to. And now I'm opening myself up to more, because once you get into a place where you are saying yes, your brain is saying, oh, they are open to receiving new. Let me then pour new information from the brain to the consciousness. So every week, say yes to something you used to say no to. And the last thing, start saying no to some things you always say yes to. Oh yeah, we know it's some stuff in your life that you need to start saying no to. When you begin to say no to some of the things you normally say yes to, guess what that does in your mind? It begins to break up the neural pathways. So the more you say no, I'm sorry, y'all know I had COVID and the flu, so my lungs still ain't that good. Once you begin to say no to the things that you normally said yes to, it begins to break the neural pathways. So after you say no to McDonald's for so long, you no longer have the urge. How did you lose the urge? The neural pathway is gone. It disconnected. So now every week I'm saying, I'm going to say no to this thing I used to say yes to. I used to say yes to smoking weed. I used to say yes to giving a half-ass job on a job. I used to say yes to not getting up early. I used to say yes to find something that you used to say yes to or say no to it. Something that's not beneficial for you. and you will begin to break up the neural pathways of all the negativity in your life. And I wouldn't even say negativity, you will begin to break the neural pathways that aren't leading you anywhere. And now when we start to say yes to the things we need to say yes to, you create neural pathways that will lead you somewhere. Now imagine this. Imagine if your subconscious mind, your urges and your unctions were all to do things that's going to lead you to the right way. Now, I always talk about this. I did not always like to read. Once I begin to be a reader and I start reading, all of a sudden, neural pathways say, oh, he likes to read. So now I have the urge to read all the time. Like, read this book, buy this book, order this book. It's my urge. I've changed what I subconsciously want. And then what does that do for me? The more I know, again, the more I can teach, the better I am at my job, the better I can speak, the better I can articulate, the more I understand, the more I can help. So now, excuse me, y'all. So now, because of what I said yes to and continually said yes to, I created neural pathways in my mind that subconsciously I'm doing things that's going to make my life better. Whew. Can't go but so much longer. My lungs are killing me. Breaking Groundhog Day. Breaking Groundhog Day. We are not going to continue living the same life in monotony. We are not going to continue to live in the same day over and over for years. We are going to find that more in the world. We are going to find that more in us. And we are going to live the life that God created for us. See y'all tomorrow. Love y'all.